Well, now let's look at 1.1.2, the standards. This is your workbook. This is my copy of a workbook that I can demonstrate from. Yours will be filled out more than this one, but let's look at 1.1.2, where we're going to talk about standards. We've talked about terminology. Now we're going to just start investigating standards. Standards, specification, regulations, they're all very much the same thing and they're used interchangeably. We're going to call them standards for this workbook. And so you can see we need to fill in a name and title, the organization, the purpose, what it contains for two different ones. Let's take a look at the assignment guide for 1.1.2. Notice each one of the sections of the workbook, 1.1.2 in the workbook, corresponds to an activity in the assignment guide. And it should say about the same things, standards. So step 1 is to describe a standard. Step 2 is to describe another standard. And step 3 is to place some logos. And right now I'm just giving you an overview. Okay, so you'll choose one of the standards listed below. That's the Caltrans Construction Manual, the Caltrans BMP Best Management Practices, California Building Standards 5.106.10. That's one of the parts of the building standards, or the ASTM Road Standard and Paving Standard. And where would you find those but on the resource page? There's a link to the construction manual, the Caltrans BMP, the 5.106 site work, and the California Standard Spec Division 5. So actually I need to go change that one down here. That should say Spec Division 5. There we go. I changed that from last semester. Okay, so, and that would be on page 411. So you're going to do it for two different standards, and then you're going to show the logo. Let's see where we're going to do that. You don't have a lot of room here. You have to be very clear and concise. Name and title, that'll fit on one line. Sometimes the organization is named in the name and title, but you're going to specifically call out the organization right there. The reason you do that is often you're going to do work in formatted documents so that the information can be exported easily later on. So even if it's named in the name and title, the organization will be here. The purpose, you're going to have to look that up. And what it contains, you're going to have to look that up. Let me give you a quick example. I pulled up the Caltrans Construction Manual. And I can go Control F for purpose and see if anything comes up. Didn't come up anything with that. So I'm probably going to have to come in and look for something like overview. There. I can go right to it. So I might have to find it in a couple of spots. There it is right there, the overview. And there's the purpose. And this is big and long, and you have a very short amount of space to put it in. The purpose right there. You have about a line, at most two. So you're going to have to get the most important purpose out of this. The purpose, it would probably be what it intends. Okay. What it provides might be what's contained in it, what it establishes, how it's used, the scope. So all of those things, you're going to take a few little pieces of that and put it together in a very short purpose and a very short contains. Okay, so let's try that one. This one's got a name, Caltrans Construction Manual. We go ahead and write that. I'll just back up. And now look, I've got capitals, small capitals. There's a really cool thing you can do. You can highlight and then you can go format the text to capitalization and do title case because that's a name or a title. And that means that each word starts with a capital. So that's an easy way to do it. This one is by Caltrans. And then I'm going to pick a purpose. You know, uh, the purpose is to provide guidance for administration of construction contracts. That's good. The perp is to provide, and then whatever else I wrote there. And what does it contain? Let's see. It contains resources to provide procedural guidance. That's one thing. There's many, many, many things that you could put down on here. Contains resources. And of course, you have to finish this out. I'm not going to give you an item that will be something that you can exactly duplicate just by copying it. Because if you copy mine, you'll get a 0. So I don't want to give you too much to take away some of the things that you can do. And this might have 2 lines to it. Or this might have 2 lines. Okay, but you don't have much room here. You have only a very small amount of room. Now, just like we did before with the images on 1.1.1, you will be allowed to take the logo because it's a very small part of this. It does say it's copyrighted, but you're using it just to show what this is. So I'm going to make it as big as I can get it. There it is. Take a snip. There it is. Control C and put it into here. And I'm going to get rid of this. Get this to fit down in here. And again, once I've got it to the right height, I'll get rid of the text box that's around it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That's their logo. There's that one. Now, if I pick another Caltrans, I'm going to put the same logo down here. But if I pick something else, I think I've given you all Caltrans. No, this is California Building Standards in California. So this would be California Building Standards. Okay, so there's your overview. Sorry, I'm clicking around too much trying to find what I'm looking for. There's an overview of what you should do for activity 1.1.2. Step 1 is to describe a standard. In this case, I've given you a bullet point system. And you can choose a different standard for the second one and then put in some logos. And all of this is for the goal to demonstrate knowledge of standards. Of course, you're getting a very, very brief knowledge. You're getting just the very most basic about what it contains and what the purpose is, but that's okay. It's a good start. Okay, that's all we need you to do for this class at this point. All right, I'll look forward to seeing some good work.